Breaking down every game, every day in Major League Baseball. This is the Baseball Betting Show. Here is your host, Greg Peterson.
And warmer from the low, welcome to lovely Las Vegas for Coast to Coast Hoops with myself, Greg Hoops Peterson, now part of the VSiN Family Podcast. Relatively short podcast today. We've got a few pitching matchups that are set on the Friday card, and I'm going to be working as this uploads to handicap all that we're going to be getting the next few days in baseball, so have no fear there. I am hard at work to make you guys some money for the second half of the season, but shorter podcast today because we're going to be joined by Colby Marchio. He does great work over at Your Betting News. We're going to be chatting with him just about what we saw in the first half of the season, some of the teams that he's bullish/bearish on in the second half of the campaign. We're going to talk about a few prop markets that he's going to be looking at as well, and we're going to call it a day. I really don't play a lot in terms of futures. I'm not much of one that dives into a lot of updated season win totals and everything like that. I'm very much more of a game-to-game guy, but we're going to give you guys a little bit of insight as to some of the teams myself and Colby are looking at towards the second half of the season. And then tomorrow, we're going to be back to normal. We're going to be taking a look at all the games that we've got on the Friday card, and it's going to be a grand old time. And I am living up to my promise, giving you guys a podcast every single day throughout the season. I will not be giving you the off-season podcast like I do in college basketball. There's just a little bit less to do with regards to baseball, but every day throughout the season, I'm with you guys on this podcast. And if you ever have a question, comment, segment, idea, what have you for this podcast, you do have one of two ways we offer those in. First one is my Twitter/X timeline at gunit_81. Keep in mind, Lars EM, they mean does not matter. So as per usual, please do send these into the timeline. And the other way is find an Apple Podcast review. If you rate this podcast 5 stars, it is very much appreciated. From there, you're able to fire in whatever you'd like to hear on this podcast via that 5-star review, and everything on this podcast is presented by Edge Boost. Over at Edge Boost, they're able to give bettors exactly what they want, and they're able to make sure that bettors are able to access their funds for all gambling-related transactions. They get approved 100% of the time. You earn cashback rewards as you utilize Edge Boost, and when you go to edgeboost.bet, put in that promo code of Greg, G-R-E-G. That gets you a dollar-for-dollar match on your first deposit up to $25. And like I said, very short podcast today. We're going to dive into it with Colby on the flip side. Since I do need to take one commercial break, we'll take it right here, and then we'll give you guys a nice clean chat right here on the Baseball Betting Show with myself, Greg Peterson, now a part of the VSiN Family Podcast.
Breaking down every game, every day in Major League Baseball. This is the Baseball Betting Show. Here is your host, Greg Peterson.
And we're back here in lovely Las Vegas for the Baseball Betting Show with myself, Greg Peterson, now part of the VSiN Family Podcast. Great to be joined by this man as we've got Colby Marchio aboard. He does such great work over at Your Betting News, taking a look at this great game of baseball that we all know and love. I know he does a wide variety of shows. He does so many great articles, so much great content with this game of baseball. Does some work with football, college basketball as well. He's a man that stuffs the sad sheet when it comes to being able to provide a bit of everything. You're able to follow my Twitter/X at Colby M. Betts. And Colby, it's great to get you aboard. Thank you.
Always a blast to be here with you, Greg. I'm so happy. Actually, I'm not happy. I'm not happy that the baseball season is flying by, but I am happy to be here to talk to you about baseball.
Absolutely, and I'm happy to have you aboard as well, Colby. And Colby, it has been a wild first half of the season, and with everything that happened in the first half, are you going to be approaching some of these player props a little bit differently in the second half, or is it one of those things where you trust the process and you just continue to keep it on?
The last 2 months have not been good to me. July and June have not been good to me. When I love player props. I love bases and home runs and making videos and screaming into my phone. I keep telling myself to trust the process. I really do think getting over the hump is coming, but I do need to find another outlet. And last year I took advantage of that by gaining all of my units back by being all over first 5 team totals. I think I need to go back to that. I need to look more into that market because it's such a fun market to bet on. And it's a market that I did well in last season. And I have had some success throughout the season already, but I don't look for it as much as I should. So that is 100% something I'm going to be taking a deeper look into in the second half of the season.
I love that. And I mean, when it comes to taking a look at a lot of these first fives, is there anything in particular that has been catching your eye and that has been really working out for you this far this season?
So far, anytime I've taken them, they've mostly been just, this is 100% a terrible pitcher. I should, without a doubt, be on something of the first 5 in this team and not have to worry about one hitter. Usually, if I'm looking for them, they come to me because I see 4 or 5 or 3, 4 guys that could possibly have some success. And I'm like, why would I pick one and hopefully my dart hits them when I could just root for the team. And hopefully there's a good price for their team to go over 2.5. I always consider anyone listening that has never bet on first 5 team totals, 1.5 is always a gift when it comes to offenses that are good enough that should be 2.5. Pay the juice. It's worth it. It's all about when it comes to that prop. To me, it's all about the number of runs instead of the price, unless it's 2.5 or greater. Then it's really all about the price. So anything under 2.5, it's really just being on top of a really good number in the first 5 innings, because that's a lot of outs and you have a lot of opportunities. And also, I'll add on to that. If you are enjoying this market or this is a market you want to get into, my advice to you is if you are only bet this if you're watching it, because you can get a feel for the game, when momentum is coming and when momentum is killed by a double play or whatever. If a team doesn't cash the first 5 team total, always look for the live first 7 runs. It's usually just a half. It's like, they didn't score any runs. It's just half a run. So take the over on that. If you already thought they were going to have success, you get 6 extra outs. Also, the 6th inning is the highest scoring inning dating back a very long time. And there's always success in that. And you get a really good price. Usually it's plus money when you do that. So I don't consider it a chase, even though it's technically a chase, Greg. But if you already like the team to have some success, you're just getting 6 extra outs and typically plus money for just 1 run.
And I love that you bring up that 6th inning angle, as well as Colby Marchio does great work over at Your Betting News, joining me right here on the Baseball Betting Show. And would you say that that's probably because you're sort of in that in-between where a lot of pitchers, they go about 5 or so innings. Some might go like 4 2/3, 5 1/3, something like that. But typically that first guy out of the bullpen is sort of the bridge guy to try to get you to the most trustworthy guys. And that's typically your biggest roll of the dice reliever.
100%. If there was a first 6, I think I would have a bet on that every single day. And when you're quote unquote chasing, I don't consider this a chase when it comes to what I just suggested, that you really do want that original pitcher to still be out there, because that would probably be his 3rd time around the order. So you're probably going to be benefiting rather than not. So I think that's a really good look for anyone out there that's never done it. I did it all last season. It's really fun. I never post out, hey, I'm betting this live, because you got 5 minutes in between those innings. So just use your gut. You're smart. You're smart.
Yeah, it's one of those things where trying to give out live bets online.
I never do it.
It's impossible because you post it up on the old Twitter/X. It takes a few seconds for the tweet/post to send. You need people to be seeing it at the right time. They then need to go to their sports book, their app, insert how you're placing it here. By the time you get to it, the number is probably already gone, and or the game is probably just went into complete oblivion anyway. So,
yeah. But also shout out to the people that do have our notifications on for our tweets. You guys are the real ones, and it's an absolute honor that you think I post out worthy enough stuff for you to be notified when I post.
Yes, the Greg Peterson beer review notification. And there are people that do that, and they are very much loved by me, as we also do love Colby Marchio. Does great work over at Your Betting News. He's joining me right here on the Baseball Betting Show, and certainly it's going to be interesting to take a look at that market moving forward. But in terms of a little bit more of the player prop market, obviously, I know that you were mentioning doing a little bit more first 5s, but is there anything that you are going to be taking a look at a little bit more with regards to the player prop side of things in the second half?
I'm probably going to make my process maybe a little bit more strict. I mean, I personally think it's already pretty strict, but maybe I want to be in love with guys more than rather than, okay, they check the boxes off enough. I look at how well they do against every single pitch that the pitcher throws in their opponent's pit, whatever is his arsenal. Excuse me, I couldn't talk. A lot of math trying to figure out in my head. I look at if they have an elite rating on batters-box, a great rating on batters-box. I've said it on this show before. I don't look at pitcher batter history. I really think it does not matter unless it's above 15 at bats or more. I just typically never look at it. I never look at weather, because if they're playing, there's always a chance. And I want to be on it if there's a chance, and I already love a play. I think just making my process a little bit more strict. And if you're wondering what my process is, just go read one of my write-ups. I think I do a really good job of letting you know where my head is on most of them. Maybe just a future that I'm looking at that is terms of hitter and player props is Kyle Schwarber to lead the league in home runs. I think that's a look I'm going to be trying to double down on by taking him in spots that I love the most, because I think he's a great spot. I got it 30-1. I don't know what the number is right now, but I do know he's probably the fourth guy in the odds to win this market, because it's Judge, Cal, Shohei, and I think Shohei's third, and you can get that at like 4-1. I don't think anyone should pay that. I don't think it's a good price to pay anything on those three names, but Schwarber at 30-1 in a lineup where they have to throw to him, and somebody who's done it before and only improves as the weather gets warmer and you get into the playoffs, I think he's a really, really good go and get, and just put a little Debbie money on it. No need to get a little freaky, just to sprinkle something a little fun. I have so many futures out that I'm like, I just need to slow down. But when you love them, Greg, you got to be on them. Just even if it's a little bit, a quarter unit.
Hey, sometimes we do like to get a little bit of freaky here and there, so there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion, but absolutely, I hear what you're saying there. Throwing on there just a little bit of a sprinkle could sometimes be the best way to go. And then in terms of just teams themselves, because we do have ourselves a lot that is going to be going down the second half of the season, are there any teams with regards to like futures, what have you, that you're feeling either bullish/bearish on, or is there just maybe a team that a little bit more on a day-to-day basis you're probably going to be betting on quite a bit?
100%. You're going to want to write this down, Greg, because when you have Adam Rosenberg on, he's going to give this exact same prop out. So I'm going to beat him to it. Shout out to Adam Rosenberg, by the way. Love him dearly. The Seattle Mariners are screwed in the second half, Greg. What just happened this past week with Cal Raleigh winning the home run derby murdered the whole entire momentum of the Seattle Mariners second half, in my opinion, because I already said they were doomed, because I think opposing teams are going to start pitching around Cal Raleigh. He's the only person in that lineup that really elevates the ball. Colby, what about Randy Arozarena? He's on fire. It took him 5 years to hit 100 home runs. I am not terrified at all of that, man. And he's in a lineup where opposing teams can pitch around him. He's already done so much in the first half. He's at a very demanding position. I don't see him having a super strong second half. Not saying I want him to have a terrible second half. He's been amazing to watch. It's so much fun to bet on. It's so much fun to watch. Great nickname. Please, can we not overkill the nickname, because it's such a good one. He's had it for years, by the way, people. This is nothing new. But I really think him winning it is going to have a massive derby hangover effect. And I think Adam got the Mariners to not make the playoffs at above 2-1. I'm already on the Mariners under win total at 85.5, I believe, or 84.5. And I think that is hopefully still alive. Now, one I've recently taken is the Rays under 86.5. I think it's dropped down to 84.5. They just finished the first half in their last 10 games, 3-7. So they've kind of cooled off. I really think they're a byproduct of playing their whole first half, most of their first half at home, more than 50%, I believe the number is, and their whole second half's on the road. So I think they're a byproduct of playing at a minor league field, a byproduct of playing in the heat where the ball flies even further. I'm not really sold on them. They're a team that you see their splits. Some of the guys do play well on the road. I think Jonathan Aranda is a guy that can play both sides, but I think he's much better at home. Their pitching doesn't do it for me. Sure, they have very good glimpses of shine here and there, but I don't think they're the greatest rotation in baseball, and I don't think they're that much of a threat, especially when they're going to be pushing for a playoff berth and all of their games are on the road. I've seen a ton of posts about them being in like the middle of the easiest remaining schedule, but are we not adding on to the fact that they're going to be on the road too? So I think if you can find a good number on the Rays under win total, it's a good bet.
And would you say that with regards to Tampa Bay Rays, you might be taking a look at a lot of like first five and full game unders with them as well, with what you mentioned playing out there in the heat and that perhaps warping their numbers a little bit?
Greg, I love unders when it comes to college basketball, but I am a scared little man when it comes to unders in baseball, unless it's like strikeouts, but runs, hits, Greg, I get terrified. And if somebody else was saying this and I was listening to it, I'd be like, that's the stupidest thing anyone could ever say. But in baseball, it's just, to me, it's different because when you want an under on a guy to get a hit, how many times do pitchers miss their marks? How many times do hitters luck into a little blooper here and there? But 100% runs, I would definitely feel a little bit better on. I do love first three unders. Those are a sweat. But I think I'm going to have to take advantage of the Rays being on the road so much in the second half that I'm probably going to find spots where I like their unders.
Yep, absolutely. And I do think that it's going to be a lot of fun to take a look at what we're going to be getting the second half of the year. And Colby, you're going to be dialed in on all of it. You do such an amazing job evaluating this wonderful sport of baseball. So let the good people at home know what's all on tap for you and how people can follow along on social media and other platforms.
100%. All of my plays are written on bettingnews.com. The whole week is going to be off until baseball is back on Friday. This is the only week off that I really have in the sports calendar because I love college hoops and baseball. So those go basically all year round. My Twitter @is Colby M Bets. That's COLBY MBETS. Everything is always going to be free. Everything is always going to be fun. I do as much as I can to try and educate or help out and give advice on my baseball show, The Pickoff, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you ever have any questions, I'm always here to help. I'm not the world's best gambler, but I will give you my 2 cents and I will try my best to make you a better gambler, hopefully, because all we're trying to do is have fun and all we're trying to do is win. So that's all I want to do and have fun.
And Colby is the world's best at posting up home run celebration videos as well. That is certainly a title that Colby has locked up, and that is in the bank and earning interest, just like we are always interested to hear what Colby has to say on this podcast. A big thanks, Colby, for joining me right here on the Baseball Betting Show, now part of the VSiN Family Podcast. And if you do like what you're hearing from this fine podcast, Baseball Betting Show, you're able to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn. If you have a question, comment, segment idea, what have you, for this podcast, you have one or two ways we will fire those in. First one is my Twitter/X timeline at @GUnit_81. Keep in mind, Larry ZM, the name does not matter, so as per usual, please do send these into the timeline. And the other way is find an Apple Podcast review. If you rate this podcast 5 stars, it is very much appreciated. And then from there, you're able to fire in whatever you'd like to hear on this podcast via that 5-star review. I am with you guys every single day on this podcast throughout the year. Now, the off season, not so much, but every single day in which we have games. And here in these in-between days as well, I might take 1 or 2 days off if we have a big lull between the World Series, but I'm going to be with you guys every single day in which we've got games. We're going to be back at it once again tomorrow. It's going to be a glorious second half of the season, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys once again tomorrow and give you guys those picks and breakdowns. Thank you so much for tuning in.